Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Question Block. And last week I asked, what are your favorite obscure Mario characters? And obscure Mario characters can generally include any character that really isn't acknowledged by Nintendo that often, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean obscure among the fanbase, though it could possibly mean that for some of these. But yeah, let's go ahead and respond to some of these answers. So, the Max625 said Koopa Kid. He's my favorite Mario character for a few distinct reasons. I like his dialogue in the Mario Party games, with some of them giving me a good laugh. It's fun to actively play as him in a bonus mode of Mario Party 4 and a more prominent character in 5 and 6. I acknowledge that Koopa Kid is likely going to remain a relic of Mario's past, seeing that Baby Bowser and especially Bowser Jr. are more recognizable, marketable, and popular. Koopa Kid is still my #1 man regardless. Yeah, Koopa Kid is definitely pretty underrated. Like you said, I kinda understand why Nintendo isn't using Koopa Kid, because Bowser Jr. mostly, replaced him. But I do think it would have been cool to see him return as, a reference, a small cameo in a newer game. Specifically, Mario Party Superstars. I think it would have been nice to see him in that game, considering that's kind of a celebration of Mario Party's history. I mean, they could have even just made Bowser Jr. a regular playable character, and then Koopa Kid as, the one, kind of replacing Bowser Jr., the one in, the item mini games and various things like that. But yeah, it would have been cool to see him kind of return as a small appearance or cameo, but I kind of understand why they would use Bowser Jr. But yeah, Koopa Kid, still pretty underrated. So Devin said, I love Francis from Super Paper Mario. I think it's hilarious that he hasn't aged one bit, and I genuinely kind of think he should appear in some way or another. I'm just not sure how. Cough cough, Josh Gad as Francis in Mario Movie 2. Yeah, Francis is definitely a pretty interesting character. Definitely pretty funny. One of the funniest moments in Super Paper Mario. And he's the one behind that one message that said, I love going on to message boards and complaining about games I've never played. That was his message that he put. And yeah, there was also the dating simulator part with Princess Peach in Super Paper Mario. It was just pretty funny. And yeah, I just he's such a funny and interesting character, and I think it would be funny if he returned in some form. They should just have him as, the reoccurring, stereotypical nerd character, a lot of cartoons have. Just that role, just let Francis have that role, and just have him, reoccur in, some Mario games at various points. I mean, maybe specifically the Paper Mario games, but yeah, Francis is definitely a pretty underrated character, and yeah, I think Josh Gad would probably work as Francis in the Mario Movie 2. I think that would definitely be a funny moment if Francis appeared. I know there technically is a character named Francis in the first movie with the dog and everything, which probably isn't a reference because that's kind of a generic name, but yeah, I think it would be pretty funny to see Francis reappear at some point. So yeah, Starchronic said, Geno. After playing Mario RPG, I immediately fell in love with the character. I mean, he can literally turn himself into a cannon. Absolutely fantastic character that should have been brought back. Who knows, maybe in the next Smash? Yeah, Geno definitely needs to reappear in another game. I'm not sure, I mean, Smash definitely makes a lot of sense, but I think Geno should also appear in Mario Kart. I don't think there's a lot of people talking about that. I mean, yeah, he does kind of make sense to be in Smash, since he's been a highly requested character over the years, but I think it would be cool to see him in Mario Kart as well, because I think Mario Kart should kind of be a celebration of the Mario franchise and the history of the Mario franchise, so I think that would be really cool to see Geno in both Smash and Mario Kart. So yeah, Awesome Ocelot said, honestly, I'm gonna save Wart. It's for his potential, and I really want him to return. Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't done more with Wart over the years. I mean, the most they've technically done is in Zelda, when Wart appeared in Link's Awakening. I forgot what his name was in that game, but I know that he appears in Link's Awakening and everything, which kind of makes sense, since Link's Awakening is within a dream, kind of like Super Mario Bros. 2. But yeah, Wart should definitely return at some point. Like, maybe even as, like, a secondary antagonist in a mainline Mario game, maybe a 2D Mario game, maybe even a Mario Kart. I think that would be really cool to see just Wart return at some point. Like considering the fact that he's from the NES era and Nintendo likes to pander to the NES era a lot, I kind of find it surprising that Wart hasn't returned in any form. Like, that kind of goes for a lot of Super Mario Bros. 2 characters, like Mouser as well, and a few of the other bosses. I know Birdo is, like, in a lot of Mario games. She's kind of like a recurring character, as well as the Shy Guys and Pokies. But I think it would be really cool to see some of those obscure Super Mario Bros. 2 characters return. Because Nintendo does pull from Super Mario Bros. 2 sometimes, so I think it would be nice to see, like, more characters from that game appear in more modern Mario games. So yeah, J to the P Moreno said, probably the Snailicorn enemy from New Super Mario Bros. DS. It only appeared in one level, and only in that game. I like how random and mysterious it is, even if it just functions like a bully. Its appearance is unique enough though. I want to see a modern design and function for it. Yeah, the Snailicorn is definitely one of my favorite enemies from New Super Mario Bros. DS, even though it's pretty obscure. I really like the design and how weird it is. It's just pretty cool, and I feel like it's one of the reasons why the original New Super Mario Bros. Game is so unique. Like, I don't really understand why people kind of lump it in with the rest of the series, because the original game on the DS is, like, it definitely has a lot of unique enemies and a lot of unique, like, places and things. I mean, I guess it kind of uses the same world layout as the other New Super Mario Bros. Games, but it still has, like, a lot of unique scenarios. Like, there's different, like, level gimmicks and things, and I guess the Snailicorn technically counts as one of those. And yeah, I would really like to see the Snailicorn return at some point. Even though it's similar to the Bully, it technically does have, like, one difference, which is the fact that it has, like, a horn on the front of it, which can damage you when you hit it from one side. So technically the Snailicorn is like a bully that can actually damage you, which is technically kind of makes it different enough from the bully to be a separate character. They just have to kind of make that aspect, like, a little more defined on the Snailicorn, because yeah, it is very similar to a bully. But yeah, I do think the Snailicorn should definitely return, and definitely in some mainline Mario games. I think that would be really nice to see, and it would definitely be a really nice throwback to the original New Super Mario Bros. So, Fawful the Great said, do Fawful and Dimentio count as obscure? If so, they easily take the cake. If not, how about a really deep cut with Mander? We know basically nothing about them, but they're really cute and deserve better. So yeah, Fawful and Dimentio, even though they're not obscure among the fan base, I mean, they're technically obscure in the sense that Nintendo doesn't really acknowledge them that much, but yeah, they're absolutely amazing characters, and they definitely have a lot of potential, and definitely could be expanded upon more. Like, even though Fawful is, like, technically canonically dead, like, in terms of, like, the Mario universe after Bowser's Inside Story, but it wouldn't hurt to bring him back as, like, a reference in, like, any multiplayer Mario game, like Mario Kart or any of the Mario sports games. At least Mario Kart would definitely be fitting for Fawful, and Dimentio as well. I think it would definitely be really cool to see Dimentio in Mario Kart as, like, one of the Paper Mario reps, if they were to ever do Paper Mario reps. But yeah, I think both characters definitely have a lot of potential. And I feel like for Dimentio, I feel like they could really expand upon him more. Like, technically, they kind of imply that he died at the end of Super Paper Mario. Like, I wish they kind of, like, retconned that one fact and made him, like, reappear, like, with a slightly different role in another game. I feel like there's definitely more they could expand on the character and everything, even though they did do a lot with his arc in Super Paper Mario. I feel like there still is more for what they could do with him and everything. And there's definitely a lot of potential. Like especially considering that now we're in like the age of like multiverse stories and things like that. I feel like Dimentio is just right up that alley. And they could definitely do something like that in the future, or maybe even like bring Dimentio into the movies. I think that would definitely be a pretty cool story to see him involved. But yeah, with the Mander is really cool. So if you guys didn't know already, I've been really interested in the beta for Paper Mario Sticker Star, which includes a lot of things that were kind of similar to the older Paper Mario games. And it had some unique characters like the Mander, which is kind of like an orange snake Yoshi Koopa-like character. And there was also a King Monty mole, but the Mander is pretty cute, and I wish they would return in another game or another Paper Mario game sometime in the future. But yeah, so Super Mario said, "I love all Mario characters, but the most obscure character I have been obsessed with, and still are obsessed with, is definitely Bed Smith from Mario & Luigi Dream Team. He's just so cool. I want to nap on him." Yeah, I kind of get your joke there. It's like the line, "Let me nap on you just once," because I played Dream Team and everything. It's pretty funny. Yeah, but jokes aside, I don't really know why I love him so much. I find him funny, and his design is very appealing to me. He's the perfect mix between crazy and funny. I find him very lovable. Yeah, I think Bed Smith is just definitely a pretty underrated character. Like, Dream Team has a lot of really cool characters that people, no pun intended, sleep on. But yeah, yeah, I think that, like, Bed Smith, Dreambert, some of the other ones from that game, there's definitely a lot of really cool obscure characters from Mario & Luigi Dream Team. And it's definitely one of my favorite games in the Mario & Luigi series. So Kirby Super said that single random cloud enemy in Tall Tall Mountain that's near the secret slide. Oh, you mean the Floosh? Yeah, I think that's it's definitely kind of a obscure enemy there, since it's pretty easy to miss. I mean, well, not necessarily easy to miss within the game, but kind of easy to forget about, since it only appears in like certain areas, and it's like it's kind of like an obstacle on Tall Tall Mountain. So I can definitely see why it's pretty obscure. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and I think that's actually the enemy that Flurry is based on from Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and also like some other like enemies like the Taifu and the Rough Puffs from Paper Mario kind of are related to this Floosh. So yeah, I think this Floosh is kind of like the foundation for a lot of those enemies. Games05 said, "One of my favorites has to be the Volbonans. I just love their unique design, and they're pretty cute. I also love their home in the Luncheon Kingdom, with its low poly aesthetic and bright colors, fits really well with their design." Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of the Mario Odyssey NPCs are pretty underrated and really should have appeared in more games. And with the Volbonin specifically, their design really would fit well in the Paper Mario series, like with their eyes and their just overall kind of cartoony design. I think it would definitely fit really well in the Paper Mario series, but unfortunately, it seems like they're really only using like very restricted characters in the games, and I really wish the Paper Mario games would include like more 3D Mario characters, like ones from Galaxy, Sunshine, and Odyssey. I think it would definitely be nice to see more characters from those games in the Paper Mario series, and the Volbonans would definitely be pretty fitting there. So Ryan Mead said, "One of my favorite obscure Mario characters is the Mushroom King from the 1993 Mario movie, where his fungus covers the majority of Koopa's kingdom and helps Mario and Luigi succeed is fantastic. He's a really cool and interesting character, being able to feel and think even when de-evolved." Yeah, I think it's pretty weird and pretty interesting, and I think it's pretty cool, like overall, like how they handled most of the characters. And yeah, just having a character like that is pretty interesting, and even though I thought it was like weird at first, just looking back, I thought, yeah, it's definitely pretty cool how they portrayed him and everything, and just like the way they kind of portrayed like the fungus and mushroom aspect of Mario in general with that. Like it's just such a interesting adaptation of like the Mario series and everything. And I just, even though that movie is kind of like there's a lot of people that consider it to be like one of the worst movies of all time. I personally liked it, even though it's like objectively not a very good movie. I feel like it's one of those movies where it's so bad that it's good. Like, you gotta love it. There's so many like fun things about it. It's just so weird and such a wacky adaptation of the Mario franchise. And yeah. So anyways, that was this week's episode of Question Block. The next question is, which new feature in Tears of the Kingdom are you most excited about? Let me know down in the comments. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.